I remember exactly where I was when I saw the headline. CEO assassinated in broad daylight. Killer leaves a cryptic message. At first, it felt like something out of a movie. A calculated execution. A corporate titan gunned down as he prepared to face his investors.
Bad business, man. Which one of them turns you on?
But as more details emerged, it became clear that this wasn't some random act of violence. It was a message. Shell casings left at the scene etched with the words delay, deny, depose. The internet caught fire. News anchors scrambled to frame the story.
Overnight, police releasing 2 new images of the person of interest in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The person seen inside what appears to be a taxi cab and in another photo walking next to a vehicle. It comes after police recovered this backpack in Central Park, believed to be linked to the person of interest seen in surveillance video. 2 senior law enforcement officials say no gun was found. What was found, a jacket and Monopoly money.
Then came the hashtags, the street art, and the viral TikToks. Some called Luigi Mangione a monster, a cold-blooded killer who shattered the unspoken rules of corporate warfare. Others, they called him a hero.
What do you think about Luigi Mangione? Do you think he's a hero?
Yeah, I do think he's a hero.
Should he be free?
Yes.
Why?
He's fighting for the people. Come on.
Let's go.
He's fighting for
a man of the people. Man of the people? He's a man of the people.
Free Luigi.
Free Luigi.
Free Luigi.
And that's when I realized this wasn't just a crime. It was a reckoning on unfettered capitalism. You see, I'm a capitalist, but to ignore the unethical behavior within the medical industry is just simply not right. When I first saw his face, I expected someone, different. Let's be real. I thought he would have looked like your typical internet incel or school shooter, but this guy actually looked like an upstanding young man, a solid dude. He was someone with an Ivy League degree, a spotless record, and a bright future ahead of him. But that's what makes figures like Mangione so different. They don't just emerge out of nowhere. They're made. Luigi Mangione grew up like many of us, middle class, ambitious, taught to believe that if you work hard, played by the rules, and stayed the right path, you'd be rewarded. But you see, life doesn't work like that now, does it? And in America, there's one brutal truth. Your health is a commodity. Companies make billions of dollars on human suffering, and their profit is denied service for someone in need. What made Mangione's case so different and so interesting to me was that his turning point wasn't some random dramatic moment of radicalization. It was a slow, suffocating realization that no matter how hard you worked, one medical emergency could take it all away. And when it did, the people in charge, the ones who profit from the suffering, they didn't care at all.
I'm sure everybody has been disturbed by the amount of negative and in many cases vitriolic media and commentary that has been produced over the last few days, particularly in the social media environment.
Yeah, mean words are so much more disturbing than an entire business model that revolves around making oodles of cash off the corpses of your clients as you knowingly deny coverage for life-saving medical treatment for those individuals that have been paying you for so long for the single purpose of you stepping in to help in an emergency situation. Then when that unfortunate time arises, it's just crickets and radio silence and then like a giant stamp of denied from United. Here's a nice little graph that helps showcase how efficient these health insurance providers have become at denying your claims. And United Healthcare, they got it down to a science. They are way out in front. They got the gold medal with 33% denied claims.
That's when the quiet, studious Mangione began obsessing over corporate greed, insurance fraud, and systemic injustice. That's exactly when he started plotting. I remember the first time I saw a hashtag Free Luigi trending. At first, it was just a few posts, a few people questioning whether this really was a cold-blooded act of murder or if it was something more. Then came the memes, the TikToks, the murals. He wasn't just a man anymore, he was a symbol. But here's the question no one wants to ask. Why do we glorify violence when it's aimed at the right target? History repeats itself. You see, America has a fascination with many vigilantes like Bonnie and Clyde, Jesse James, and even the Unabomber, whose warning about technology are still debated today. Why do we turn violent men into folk heroes? Well, it's because they do something that most people won't. They fight back. Even if we don't agree with their methods, they take radical action, which is admirable to many. But here's the truth people don't want to hear. Revenge is not justice. And no matter how justified it feels, violence doesn't change the system, it feeds it.
Violence against one is violence against all. Violence against all is violence against myself.
We're all ordinary people, driven to seek vengeance under a banner of justice. However, if there is justice in vengeance, then justice will only breed more vengeance and trigger a cycle of hatred.
Revenge is a poison. Revenge is for fools and for madmen.
We're living in the middle of such a phenomenon right now. The cycle of hatred never ends. You see, Mangione didn't kill an industry. He didn't end corporate greed. He just created a new villain, himself. So here's when it gets a bit uncomfortable. Because for all the debates, all the media outrage, all the political posturing, one fact remains. Luigi Mangione didn't act alone. And no, I'm not talking about some sort of conspiracy here. I'm talking about the system that created him. The CEOs making millions while denying life-saving treatments.
If we're right, people lose homes, people lose jobs, people lose retirement savings, people lose pensions. You know what I hate about fucking banking? It reduces people to numbers. Here's a number. Every 1% unemployment goes up, 40,000 people die. Did you know that?
The politicians writing laws to protect corporations over people. Insurance executives who delay, deny, and profit while families drown in medical debt. So when the media asks, why did Mangione do it? Maybe they're asking the wrong question. Maybe the real question is, why hasn't this happened sooner?
The world is a dangerous place, Elliot. Not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing.
People often compare Mangione to the Unabomber. He's sort of like the Gen Z version. Both were highly intelligent. Both waged war against systems they saw as corrupt. But here's the difference. Ted Kaczynski saw technology as the enemy. Luigi Mangione saw corporate power as the enemy. And here's where it gets dangerous, because while Kaczynski's violence was condemned, his ideas never fully disappeared. They took root, they spread, and now Mangione's name is becoming something even more. His face is on murals, his words are in viral videos, and his identity is cemented in memes. His actions are being debated not as a crime, but as a statement, which forces us to ask, how many more Mangiones are out there waiting for their moment? See, here's the thing about stories like this. They often don't have clean endings. And today, as this is released, Mangione's case is proceeding in court now.
That they're looking at, that his lawyers have no clue as to what they might actually be seeing.
Neither do we, but what we do know from NYPD sources is that the NYPD has, according to them, forensic evidence placing the suspect, Luigi Mangione, at the scene of the crime. That is fingerprint evidence, not just from a water bottle and a Kind Bar wrapper that was found near the crime scene, but also from a cell phone that was found in the same vicinity in an alleyway. They also matched the shell casings, the ones that you remember said delay, and possibly depose. Those three were matched to the ghost that the suspect was found carrying with him. So at least you have that kind of direct evidence that places him there. There's also the notebook that sources tell CBS News had a to-do list, had a thought about whether to make an attack with a bomb or a gun, and choosing a gun over a bomb because that would spare other lives, innocent lives. There's all kinds of, there's the 3-page document. There's all kinds of evidence that at least the NYPD, or that we're learning from, or sources at the NYPD at CBS News, that a grand jury would have plenty of to indict him.
And he recently stated that, I'm overwhelmed by and grateful for everyone who has written to me to share their stories and express their support. Powerfully, this support has transcended political, racial, and even class divisions, as mail has flooded the MDC across the country and around the globe. While it's impossible for me to reply to most letters, please know that I read every single one of them that I receive. Thank you again to everyone who took the time to write. I look forward to hearing more in the future. This was from the website that was established by his New York defense team in a bid to provide answers to frequently asked questions, to provide accurate information about his case, and dispel misinformation. The site features updates on information from his legal team, and an FAQ section and contact form, and a link to the fundraiser for Mangione's legal fund, which has already raised over $400,000. This is all confirmed to the Rolling Stone that both his website and his statements are legitimate. This isn't just about one man. This isn't about just one act of violence. This is about the pressure cooker of a system that keeps pushing people to their breaking point. And history shows two possible outcomes. Systemic change, where people in power finally realize that they can't keep bleeding the public dry forever, or cyclical violence, where desperate people take desperate measures again and again. And let's be real, how often does real change happen without blood in the streets? So now we're left with one final terrifying thought. Was Luigi Mangione an anomaly, or was he just the beginning?